So an expression is always which evaluates to a value, we call that as the expression. Evaluation of the expression is based on the precedence of operator. It accepts all the user input as a string. The syntax for the input is like this: input prompt. So num1 is equal to 10, num2 is equal to 20.0. Sum is equal to num1 plus num2 and an integer. Hello everyone, myself Jayashree Chandru, Faculty, Department in Computer Science, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Welcome back to the session 3, chapter 5, getting started with Python. Now let us see what we'll be discussing in this session. So topics covered under this session is expressions, precedence of operators. In last session, we learnt about what exactly the operators, types of operators. So in this session, we'll be learning about like precedence of the operators, what exactly the precedence. Next, statements, input and the output functions, type conversion and debugging. Under the debugging, we'll be learning about the types of the errors also. Are you ready to learn one by one in this session? So, the first one is about the expression. What exactly the expressions means? It is a combination of the constants, variables and the operators. We call that as the expression. It is defined as the combination of constants, variables and the operators. So, an expression is always which evaluates to a value, we call that as the expression. Here are some of the valid examples of the expressions. Here you are looking the examples like 3.0 plus 3.14. This is a combination of both operators and the expressions. Here also in the second example, you can see the combination of all constants, expressions and the operators. This we call it as what? The expressions. So, what is the precedence of the operators? Let us understand. Evaluation of the expression is based on the precedence of operator. So, when an expression contains a different kinds of operators, the precedence will determine which operator should be applied first. That we call it as what? The precedence of operator. Higher precedence of operator is evaluated before the lower precedence of operator. This we call it as what? The precedence of operator. So, how exactly the first operator, what is the higher precedence, what is the lower one? We'll see that in the table. Here you're seeing the order of precedence and the operators and the description. One by one, let us see. Here you are seeing the exponential form, that is the exponential rise to the power. Here you can see the combination of all the operators. You can see unary plus unary minus. Then you are seeing multiply, divide, modulo and the floor division are some of the operators. Next, plus and the minus, that is addition and the subtraction operator. You're seeing the relational and the comparison operators, and in a sixth one you're seeing all kinds of assignment operators. So in the next table we are seeing the operators like is not and in, not in. Here it is a description, that is identity operators. Next we have in and not in, the membership operators. Here we call it as and, or and not are the logical operators. So these are the list of the precedence operators, like how it has to take place when we are executing or coding a program, and which is a higher precedence which will be valued and the lower precedence. So next, the precedence of the operators example. Just I've taken one simple example, you can have a look. How will Python evaluate the following expression? 20 plus 30 into 40. Here you're seeing the combination of the operators. So precedence means which will be calculated first and which is the next. Here you can see the solution. 20 plus 30 into 40 is a step 1. So precedence of in multiplication symbol, that is asterisk, is more than that of the addition operator. So 20 plus 30 into 40 is 1200. 20 plus 1200 is a step 2, the evaluation process, how it takes place. And here you can see the value of it in the step 3. So here we are seeing the statement. So what is a statement in a Python? It is a unit of a code that Python interpreter can execute. We call that as the statement. So under the statement, we have a assignment statement, print statement, many other statement. And here you can see x is equal to 4 is a statement, cube is equal to x into 3. So these are some of the examples of the statement. Next we have input and the output function. What exactly the input and the output function? So when the user input, what we give, that we call it as an input, and the print statement is the output. Next slide I'll be explaining about what is exactly the output. So here we are learning about, in Python we have the input function for taking a user input. When we give an input to that particular code, like that we call as an input, the input function prompts the user to enter the data. What the data we give, that we call as a input function. It accepts all the user input as a string. The syntax for the input is like this: input prompt. So this is how we are giving the input prompt. Next, the example of the input is first name is equal to input. Enter your first name. Enter your first name, I am entering. So that is how the input statement. Then age input, enter your age. So this is the statement, entering the age. Class str within the prompt. Python uses the print function to output the data. So that we call as an output statement, and what we call this as a print function is an output function. So standard output device in the screen, that we call as a output function. The print outputs a complete line and then moves to the next line for the subsequent output statement. So the syntax for the print is like this. So print the value and separated with the colons and end with the colons. So this is about the input and the output function. So here are some of the examples. You can see print hello, print 10 into 2.5, print like I love my country and I am 16 years old. Everything is with the double quotes. Hello, the output will be displayed like this. So in my last session, I explained you about how it has to be declared, like string has to be within the single quotes or the double quotes. That is how it will take a print. The print statement, how it takes hello to 25.0. I love my country. Here you can observe some spaces which we have not given. It will take like this. I am 16 years old. So this is how the print statement will work and the print function, how it takes place. So in the next slide, like we are learning about the type conversion. What do you mean by a type conversion? We can change the data type of a variable in a Python from one type to another. I repeat, we can change the data of a variable in a Python from one type to the another type. What is that one type to the another type? We will see. Such data conversion can happen in two ways, that is either explicitly, that is forced, or when the programmer specifies for the interpreter to convert a data type to the another data type, or implicitly when the interpreter understands such a need by itself and does the type conversion automatically. We call that as what? The type conversion. In the type conversion, we have two types. Explicitly is forced, and implicitly when the interpreter understands that need, means such need by itself when it takes, we call this as what? The type conversion. What is a type conversion? The data type conversion. How it happens? Like when a variable in a Python from one type to another type, how it changes. So what is a explicit conversion? We will see. Explicit conversion is also called as what? The typecasting. When it happens, when the data type conversion takes place, because the programmers forced in the program. So the general form of the explicit data type conversion is as follows. You can see new underscore data type, this is the expression. There are different explicit type conversion functions in the Python, which is listed below in the next slide. In this slide, in the explicit conversion, here we have listed below some of the explicit conversion. Here you can see the function and the description. One by one, let us discuss int into x. So what is a description of this function? Converts x to an integer. So float into x converts x into a floating point number, that is a decimal number or anything. So str, that is a string x. So converts x to a string representation. Character x converts the ASCII value of the x to a character. So this you need to understand, string and the character. Next, coming to the ORD, returns the character associated with the ASCII code x. So these are some of the explicit functions, conversion functions in the Python which I have taken here. So next we will see what is a explicit conversion program, the example. So example of the explicit type conversion from int to float. How can it be changed? Explicit type conversion from integer to the float type. Num1 is equal to 10, num2 is equal to 20, num3 where the result store, num1 plus num2 where exactly the calculation goes. Print num3, that is print result. Print type num3 means here the type I am giving. Okay, the type, the conversion type I am giving. Num4 is equal to float, num1 operator num2. Here you need to observe these lines and print num4 and again the typecasting I am giving, that is type num4. Here you can see the output 30 class int 30.0, like int to float, how it is getting converted. So this is a simple example what I have taken for the explicit conversion. So next we'll understand what is a implicit conversion. That is when the data type conversion is done automatically by the Python and it is not instructed by the programmer. In the previous explicit function what we learned, that is forced by the programmer. The programmer is only doing, that is from int to float, by giving a function called as a type and many other things. Like here, the programmer has not been instructed, means it is not instructed by the programmer, where the type conversion will take automatically. How that automatically it will take, we will see in the example, that is again from int to float. So num1 is equal to 10, num2 is equal to 20.0. Sum is equal to num1 plus num2 and an integer. You can see print sum1, print type sum1. Output is 30.0. That is num1 as an integer, num2 as a float. Obviously, the sum will be float and an integer with both the combinations. So this we call it as what? The implicit conversion type. So here in the next slide, we will be learning about the debugging. So what exactly the debugging means? Identifying of mistakes or removing those mistakes. Such mistakes are known as what? The bugs. Here in the Python or any program you take, the mistakes, we call it as what? The bugs. Removing those mistakes, we call that mistakes as the errors. Removing those errors from the program is nothing but we call it as what? Debugging. Bug is an error. Debugging, removing that bug is nothing but debugging. Here the errors occurred in the program can be categorized into three types, that is syntax error, logical error and the runtime error. Now one by one let us discuss what is syntax error. As we all know that Python has its own rule to determine the syntax. So the set of rules or the protocols what that particular program will take, we call that as a syntax. If any syntax error is present in the interpreter, shows an error message, stops the execution there, we call that as what? The syntax error. Next, coming to the logical errors, logical error produces an undesired output but without abrupt termination of the execution of the program. Example, we'll see the correct code to find the average should have been this. So the correct output should be like this. So it will show in which line there is an error or anything like that. So that we call it as what? The logical error. Next, coming to the runtime error. What is this runtime error? The runtime error causes an abnormal termination of the program while it is executing. This we call it as what? The runtime error. So runtime error is when the statement is correct, but syntactically, like, the interpreter cannot execute it. We call that as what? The runtime error. So runtime error do not appear until after the program starts running or executing. I repeat it, runtime errors do not appear until after the program starts running or executing. So this we call it as a runtime error. So there are three categories in a debugging. One is logical error, syntax error, and the runtime error. Okay. So this ends this session and the chapter 5 is completed. So thank you. I hope you understand it. So in the next session with a new topic, let us discuss. Thank you.